I saw this book on Mark's TikTok page. He was looking for ARC readers, and I really struggle to find ARC opportunities for horror books. I just feel like everything's fantasy or dark romance or romantasy, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course there isn't. But I really struggle to find horror arcs, which is, one of my favourite genres. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, please, I'll take a copy, I'll read it. And I knew it was a quick turnaround time because Mark wanted to release the book in the first week of February, so I got straight onto it. We have Marcus, who is living with tinnitus, and he's lived with tinnitus his whole life, and no medication will touch it. He can't sleep, and it is basically wearing him down to the point where him and his marriage is suffering. On top of that, he's had his own personal tragedy with the loss of his daughter, something he kind of blames himself for because she was in his care at the time that it happened. And all of these things are driving a wedge in his relationship and, in his own mind. He's just gradually slipping away. And it begins to become apparent that what Mark has, this ringing in his ears, what Mark has, Marcus, getting confused with the author now, apologies Mark. The ringing that Marcus has always had is perhaps not tinnitus after all. Other people begin to exhibit the same sort of thing, or he's made aware of other people who exhibit this kind of experience, and at certain points it becomes so unbearable that they are passing out, they are contemplating taking their own life. It's that bad. Now, when these attacks are at their worst, crippling attacks, there is a terrorist attack somewhere in the world, simultaneously across the world, in different venues of the same sort of venue, like football stadiums or concerts or shopping malls or whatever it may be. And we begin to wonder if there is a conspiracy between the tinnitus symptoms and these attacks. Now, I won't say any more than that because I don't want to, spoil anything. What I will say about this one is it interested me from the very beginning because I liked the concept. I liked the fact that clearly there is a link here between what is going on and what the characters are suffering through. And obviously with nobody else being able to hear it except those who are affected by it, there is disbelief from everybody else, impatience, annoyance at using this constantly as an excuse for not being there for them or not being part of the relationship properly. The attacks themselves are described in what I would assume is actually probably quite close to reality, which by definition makes them gory, difficult to read in places because, the climate that we live in at the moment, it's very close to some of the things we've seen in the last decade or two. And it's written very well, very, very well. I like how we are along with Marcus as he gradually begins to lose himself. Parts of it are difficult to read because, it's done very, very well and very deeply written. I will say my one criticism of this book that I have is the ending. It felt a little bit for me like it was, I don't want to use the phrase tacked on, but it felt as if the author had gotten to the point where he'd written this amazing story, it was reaching the climax, and he didn't really know how to end it, and so he came up with an ending. That's what it felt like. It may not be the case, but to me that's what it felt like. I've seen some of the reviews and they say the same sort of thing, the book is brilliant, but the ending doesn't really fit the rest of the story. I'm kind of in that camp. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. It's, as I say, it's excellently written, and I would definitely suggest checking it out. It has literally just come out. At time of recording this, it is the release day. Happy coincidence. But yeah, I would definitely recommend you go and check it out. I really did enjoy it, and I gave it a 4-star. Now, normally at this point, I would say if you want your book reviewing, please do check out the form in my bio. However, the reviews on socials are not getting the kind of traction I was hoping for. So what I'm going to do is leave the form open for you if you are struggling to get reviews and you are needing some kind of boost. I will happily read your book and do a review for you on here and on YouTube. Depending where you watch this, you're watching one or the other at the moment. But I'm not going to actively, bog myself down with more work at the moment because it's not getting the traction it deserves, and I want to make sure it does. So I'm going to be altering things a little bit. But I do have many other books left to review, so I will see you in the next one.